So please welcome this week's special guest, Martin. So, Xand, what is Martin to you?
This is Martin, and when I accidentally shaved off a chunk of my beard, he lent me some of his.
Maya, how do you know Martin?
OK, so this is Martin, and he once exorcised my car because I thought it was haunted.
And finally, Lee, your relationship with Martin.
This is Martin. He freed me after I got my fingers stuck in a bowling ball.
So there we have it. David, where do you want to begin?
Xand, so he lent you a section of his beard?
Yes, so I had shaved off that side of my beard by mistake, and I needed...
How did you do that?
You put the teeth on the beard trimmer so that you have to adjust it.
Yes.
And I didn't put the teeth on and shaved my cheek twice. Zup, zup, cleared the cheek. Then I needed replacement beard hair.
And where does this chap come in?
I was filming a television programme the next day, and the problem was that we'd already filmed some of it, and so I had to keep the beard, and I also have it in my contract that I always have to have a beard because I have an identical twin brother, and without the beard I look like him, and then I can't.
I don't think that would be a problem because you still had some of the beard. I think you'd still be distinguishable from your... Unless he had madly grown a partial beard.
OK, so how do you come into contact with someone? Is this a service that someone provides whereby if you misshave, he'll help you out?
No.
Do you regret your Brazilian?
Well, with the help of this man's hairy face...
So, Martin is a sound person or an acoustic engineer on the TV show that I was working on, and he kindly trimmed off a bit of his beard and allowed me to glue it to my face.
So how many days did you have to film? Because presumably you'd have to remove this hair at the end of the day. You can't go to bed with that, can you?
So, at the end of the day, Martin gave me an envelope of his beard trimmings.
No,
he trimmed it
get
off.
away.
I carried the envelope. I had to film for the rest of the weekend, in fact, into the next week. And so for about 5 or 6 days, I was gluing... I had some eyelash glue and I was gluing
Because he gave you an envelope of his hair.
So he gave you a couple of clumps on that first day, and at the end of the day, he said, well, there you go, that'll see you through until the middle of next week.
So, and he must have lost a fair bit of his, then.
It's a mighty beard.
It's a dense beard, I will say that.
His beard does look like a feeder beard, like it's designed just to feed other beards.
Yes. It's like...
Wholesaler beard.
Right, who would you like to quiz next?
Maya, this car. What model of car was it?
Mercedes 500.
And what made you think it needed exorcising?
OK, well, I have quite a spiritual nan, spiritual Swedish nan, and I was telling her that it's always quite cold. There's 2 seats in the car. It's always quite cold. It feels like there's wind coming in, even when all the windows and there's no holes in it or anything like that. And sometimes when I go into my car park, which is underground, I have felt like someone touched me a couple of times, just on the shoulder or, like, there. And so I told her about it, and she was like, I know this guy Martin.
And it's probably him.
She said, you should have a little chat with Martin. He does this kind of thing. He goes and he'll get rid of the bad spirits and stuff like that. And if it is your new car, then it's best that you get it sorted out, you know?
I got to say, you did say... So your nan's Swedish?
Yeah.
Martin does look strikingly Scandinavian.
He does,
he
actually,
does,
doesn't he? You could imagine him on a hardwood floor.
What are you doing on this hardwood floor, Rob?
Being Swedish. Yeah, maybe it's a hardwood floor for a while, with high-quality hi-fi, nice speakers. So your nan said that he does this sort of thing. What does she mean by that?
Well, he's a medium. That's what these sort of people
Well,
do.
a medium is not the same as an exorcist.
I was going to say, medium isn't the same as an extra large.
I don't know.
To be clear, he is not a priest.
No, he doesn't...
That's your classic person who can do exorcism, is a priest.
I don't think they do cars, though. I mean, I know things have gone bad for the church, but...
exorcism quite a loose term here? Because I know there are a lot of people that they clear energy.
Yeah, like they read your cards and they say, oh, there's someone in the room and that kind of stuff.
So he's more of a general
Charlatan.
He's a ghost.
If it's true, I'm going to get killed, but it's not true because he got my finger stuck in a bowling ball and helped her out.
that's
If
right.
it was true.
So, Maya, talk us through what he did for you.
So I'm going to be honest, I wasn't in the car. It's a two-seater. He got in the car. I stayed a little bit away.
So there wasn't room for you and him and the ghost.
Of course not. And then, basically, I watched from a distance. He was shouting for a little while. And then he did vibrate a little bit. And then that was about it.
So like this.
So you were a bit
Like
further
that.
away. So did you see him just...
I just saw a shaking
You're just seeing
bearded
a man
man.
in your car.
What was
Could
he
you see
saying?
his hands when he was vibrating?
Yes, that's important.
I can't remember. His hands were on show.
All right. His hands were on show, as far as we know. And
Yeah.
how did he finish? No, Roman, Kent! What would your listeners think?
No, how did it end? He came out of the car and then he said, well, I've done what I can. I've had a word.
Done what I can.
She does so well, and then she gets to the end, and she's like, then he just got out and said, see you later, bye, there you go. It's almost the last bit, and you just
I'm
drop
having
the
a
ball.
laugh. I'm having a laugh. I'm playing along. But he did. He said he basically had finished what he needed to do. He'd come to the end of the exorcism.
So did he give you any feedback about what he'd cleared?
Well, he did. He looked at me and he said, like that. No, he acknowledged the fact that there was, in fact, something in
So
there.
he didn't say you've wasted your money hiring me. That needed doing.
He confirmed.
That was a big one in there.
OK, so what exactly did Martin say that he found?
Well, he wasn't that clear, I'll be honest. He just said it was a spirit. I think there's levels to this ghost talking stuff. Like it
Spirit
depends
levels.
How far in.
OK, now, what about Lee? Remind us, Lee, of your claim.
This is Martin, and he once helped me when I got my fingers stuck in a bowling ball.
Oh.
So when was this?
This was about a year ago.
And who are you bowling with? Family trip?
It was my son's birthday.
Oh.
What was Martin's job at the bowling alley?
He didn't have a job at the bowling alley. He was in the lane next to me.
Yeah. Which finger got stuck?
It was those two fingers got stuck.
They both got stuck.
I know.
Wow. And above the knuckle, did you
Tonight, darling.
Did you plunge them in?
So I went into the ball.
Like that.
I'm thinking, hello. And then I'm thinking, it's the something. I've picked up the wrong ball. Picked up a 12 kilogram, not a 14. I've only gone and put my fingers in all that's too small. My fingers are stuck. Oh, well. Give me something to talk about on the show.
So how did he get him out? How did he get him out?
He said, are you all right, mate? And I said, I've actually got my fingers stuck in the ball. And he said, well, can I help you? I said, I don't know. Are you qualified? And he said, no, I've never done anything like this in my life. I said, well, neither have I. That's two of us.
This is sounding quite romantic now.
Yeah, so I touched his face gently, but knocked him out.
Yeah. Then later he came round.
Yes. Yes. I said, how did you get my address? He said, can I help you? I said, you tell me. So he said, all right, let's see if we can pull it off. So he held on. The children held my arm as he pulled.
Right.
And it didn't work. So he said, why don't I go to the kitchen and get something to use as a sort of lubricant?
OK.
And he came back with quite a large tub of butter.
When he's gently lubing your fingers up,
Yeah.
and there's a man you've never met before and your wife's off and it's just you and him, what were you talking about?
Oh, you know, we were chewing the fat. And he said, don't, we'll need that.
Is that what did it?
Eventually, the lubrication and the excessive pulling and a little bit more pulling from the opposite direction from my wife and the kids at the party resulted in and out it came.
All right, so we need an answer. So David's team, is Martin Xand's bearded buddy, Maya's car cleanser, or Lee's finger freer?
I think I'm sceptical about Lee's story, but the problem is that the other two stories are, one is that he exorcised a car, and the other is that he lent some beard hair.
It's definitely Xander.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's fine. We're fine.
So you're willing to accept that this man took clippings from his own beard, put them into an envelope, gave them to Xand, and he then stuck them onto his face.
Rob, if you were to take trimmings of your beard, what exactly, and you had to give them to someone, what exactly are you meant to be putting them in anyway?
Tupperware.
What did you say you worked in? You worked in the audio department.
He could work in the audio department,
Yeah.
but also he could be a Scandinavian exorcist, I suppose. I haven't seen many Scandinavian
Could work in a bowling alley.
No.
He didn't work in a bowling alley, did he? He just has to be there.
No, hang on, he didn't work. That's why I was getting confused, because he was temping.
Maya, do you believe in ghosts?
Yeah,
I believe in
actually do.
ghosts.
Do you? Why do you believe in ghosts?
Why not?
Well, because they patently
Oh,
don't
you're not
exist.
going to logic on me. We
No,
can
but
believe
I
in-
mean, OK, if there's so many ghosts, well, if ghosts exist, why are they always in isolated places rather than absolutely cramming central London?
I don't
My
think...
car.
People have been living and dying in misery in central London for 2,000 years in that square mile. You shouldn't be able to move for ghouls. And yet you don't see them there in the modern office blocks, or with the plague, or being eaten by a lion in Roman times, or having their head chopped off for no reason. Oh, no, it's in one pub where a total of 2,000 people have lived ever. That's where the ghosts hang out. Doesn't make any sense.
So what are you going to say, David?
OK.
What are you going to say?
It's 100% Xander.
Right, well, are we happy to go with that?
I think so.
Yeah, we're going to go with that.
Saying it's Xand. OK. Martin, would you please reveal your true identity?
I'm Martin, and I lent Xander my beard.
Yes, Martin is Xand's bearded buddy. Thank you very much, Martin.